Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry for the long absence. I went on vacation and I broke my laptop, so it took a while to get back here. But I'm very excited because today I'm doing my very first book haul. I've never done a haul before because I just don't tend to buy a lot of books in one go. I tend to buy a book maybe like once a month, once every 2 months, not very often. I get a lot of my books on ebook, so I just never have like a large amount of books to haul. But I did go on vacation and I bought a lot of books on that vacation, so I'm excited. I think I have like 15 or 16 new books to haul, so I'm excited to share them with you guys. I also did get a couple of new vinyls. You can see Sabrina Carpenter and Brat, so I'm very excited to have some new additions to the vinyl wall. That's hard to say. But yeah, let's get into it and let's look at the books that I got. So the first one is a new release, a 2024 release, and that is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellers. Really excited to get this. I can't wait to read this. I really enjoyed Coco Mellers' other book, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, so I can't wait to read this. It's about sisters. I just love family dynamics in books, and I love a good cast of like female characters, and yeah, I can't wait to read this. So excited. The next one is another new release, 2024 release, and that is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I got this in Amsterdam and I've been excited to read it ever since. This is a brand new, I'm not even sure if it's a standalone or a series, but like definitely a new book from Leigh Bardugo, not part of any of her previous series. And I really like Leigh Bardugo's writing. Ninth House is one of my favorite series. This is set in Golden Age Spain, as far as I know. Pretty sure it's a fantasy and it has like fantastical elements. Really excited. I don't know much about it, but I think we've got some like Inquisition stuff happening. I just think this will be really fun. I've seen mixed reviews, but I can't wait to make up my mind what I think about it, and I have faith in Leigh Bardugo, so I think this will be a good one. Okay, the next one is a bit embarrassing because it's a thriller that everyone has read, like literally every single person on BookTube except for me, and I've been kind of ashamed to say that I haven't read it yet, so I will be catching up and I will finally be reading Gone Girl. I don't know why I haven't read this yet. I think for a long time I just thought the cover was too ugly, and I'm still not a fan of this cover, but this is like a special edition with previously unpublished scenes, so I thought, okay, it's worth it getting it because I get some extra content. I still don't like the cover. I just think these are really ugly. I don't like the covers of Gillian Flynn novels, but Gone Girl, I've never read it, I've never watched the movie, I don't know anything. I haven't been spoiled either, which is kind of surprising, but I can't wait to read this. I think it'll be like a classic thriller and just so good. I've heard amazing things about it, everyone loves it, so I will finally be reading Gone Girl. The next one is a book that I've actually never seen on BookTube and I've never had anyone speak about it, but I saw it in a bookstore a couple of times and it just kind of screamed at me. I just liked the cover, and that is Common Decency by Susanna Dickey. And this is, I believe, an Irish novel set in Belfast, and it's about these two people who live in apartments like above each other, and they're both kind of like invested in the other person's life as far as I know, and one of them observes like the other one having an affair with like an older man, I think, and it just sounded really fun. And I love books set in Ireland or about Irish people. I think it's just a new obsession that I have. I really like Irish fiction lately, and I've never read anything set in Belfast, so I'm very excited for this one. The next two books were very kindly given to me by the lovely Grace. Grace, if you're seeing this, shout out to you and thank you so much. I met up with Grace this summer. We went to see Taylor Swift together in August in London, and she had just done an unhaul, so she was giving away like some of her books that she just didn't want anymore, and I couldn't take too many because of like luggage reasons, but I did take Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I've never read Lynn Painter before. I've heard that this one is one of her best, and I'm really excited. I also have all of Grace's annotations in here, so I can't wait to see what she like annotated and wrote in here. So I'm just really excited. I think this will be just like a really fun and silly romance that is just easy to read, and sometimes you just need that. So thank you, Grace. Grace also gifted me this incredibly, you can't even see it, the incredibly gorgeous Fairy Loot edition of The Temptation of Magic. It's so gorgeous. It has these beautiful end pages and just a gorgeous cover. I love this. I've never had a Fairy Loot edition of anything, so this will be my newly prized possession. This is a fantasy. I have no idea what it's about. It's kind of giving me dark academia from just like this picture, but I can't wait to see what this is about, and I'm just so excited. I don't really read fantasy a lot, so when I do pick one up, it's always really exciting, and I can't wait to get to this one. It's so beautiful. I love having this on my shelves now. Okay, did I say that I love like Irish fiction? We've got yet another one. We've got Ordinary Human Feelings by Megan Nolan. This is set in London, but about an Irish family that kind of came to London and is kind of on the outside, kind of like outsiders in the big city. And both of those things sound incredible to me because I was once in that position, and I was a German living in London and being kind of like on the outside of that bubble of Londoners. And yeah, I can't wait to read this. It's set, I think, in kind of like an estate of like council housing, and I lived in council housing in London once, so I'm really excited to see what kind of parallels I can draw to my own life, what this is about. It's set in the 90s, so way before I lived there, but I'm just really excited. I love a book set in London. I love a book about Irish characters, so I can't wait to read this. I've heard really good things about Megan Nolan, so this will be a fun one. The next book I'm so excited to finally have, because I've been on the hunt for this for quite a while, and that is All About Love by Bell Hooks. This is a non-fiction, so this is about love and romantic relationships, and probably also platonic relationships, all kinds of love, as the title says. And I've read quite a few non-fiction books about relationship recently. I read Notes on Heartbreak, I read a couple of Dolly Alderton books, and a lot of them quoted Bell Hooks in their books, and her quotes always sounded really inspiring and just very good and so true. And I've been really trying to educate myself about kind of love and relationships and heartbreak, just because I find it so interesting what experiences others go through and how many parallels there are in people's heartbreak, because heartbreak feels so unique and it feels so personal, and you feel like no one has ever gone through that same pain before. But then I read a lot of those non-fiction books, and people were going through the same thing that I went through, and that was so comforting and so nice to see. So I really am excited to read this and just continue my journey of like non-fiction books about relationships and love. And I might do like a video about recommending you non-fiction books, because I've read quite a few really good ones recently, and this was really just one that I wanted to get because it seemed like such a staple in that like genre of literature, and I can't wait to read it. I think it's going to be incredibly formative and inspiring, so yeah, I can't wait. The next book is a bit rogue, bit of a random one, but I picked up Kyra by Jenny Erpenbeck. This is actually a German book, and it was the winner of the International Booker Prize this year. I could have read this in German, I could have picked up a German version, but because I was in the UK, they obviously didn't have it. So I was like, I either get the translated English edition now, or I wait until I'm back in Germany and I try to remember to pick up the German version. But for some reason, I really wanted to read this in English, which makes no sense because I speak fluent German and I could have read the German version. But I really want to see how this reads translated, because I want to see how people that are outside of Germany that don't speak German would read and perceive this book. This is set in Berlin during the times that there was like East and West Germany, so Berlin was split, and I love that era, and I think it's so incredible how recent that was. Like my parents visited Berlin while it was split, which to me is insane because obviously I was born after. But I love stories set in that time. It's such a rich history and it was so different to the Germany that I live in now. So I'm really excited to read this. I will report back if it was a mistake getting the translated version of this, or if I like it. It might have been a bit dumb of me to get an English version. I could have read the original, but I don't think I would have picked it up if I went back to Germany. And so it was really a spur of the moment decision to get this, and I will be reading this soon and I'm really excited. That was a very long rant, but yeah, excited to add this. The next book I picked up, I actually have already read. That's the only book I think in this haul that I've already read, and that is Come and Get It by Kyra Reid. I absolutely adore this cover. I think it's so cute and I love the colour. This is about money. So this whole book kind of analyses and talks about the life of college students and how they deal with money. So it's set at the University of Alabama about one student who goes to this university and who is obsessed with saving money and buying a house straight out of college. So she will do the weirdest little jobs for money. She will do anything to save up. And we also follow this college professor who is currently writing like articles for, I think, the Teen Vogue, about college students' behavior with money. And she goes to this university and kind of spies on the students and their behavior with money and then writes articles about it. I won't lie, I didn't love this book. I think it had very little plot and very little point. It was just very much just following the students and that professor, but it didn't have too much going on, but it was definitely interesting. I wish it had a bit more suspense in it. I just wanted a bit more. Like, it was fine, but I wanted more from it, unfortunately. The next book I picked up is kind of like a classic thriller that I think came out last year, and it was pretty hyped on BookTube and BookTok, and that is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. Again, this is kind of a remote setting thriller of people who go to a writing retreat in the middle of nowhere, and I believe they're going to a writing retreat of this like famous horror author, and she has put on like a little bit of a competition for these authors that come to her writing retreat, that they have to write like the best novel, and I assume some shady shit is gonna happen in this one, and I'm very excited to read it. The next book is once again a book about Irish characters, and that is The Mess We're In by Annie McManus. This is once again about Irish characters moving to London. It's about Orla, who moves to London to be a musician. She wants to be famous in her band. She really struggled with like trying to make it in the music industry, trying to succeed in her career, living in London and being on her own there as an Irish girlie. And yeah, it's just a story of a young woman in her 20s kind of trying to make it in life, trying to turn a passion of music into a job and career. And yeah, I just really resonated with this. I really wanted it. I liked the cover, I liked the premise. Again, I really saw myself in the book, so I really wanted to pick it up. I've never heard anyone speak about this. I've never seen it before. I saw it in a couple of bookstores in the UK, so I'm excited to see what this is all about. And yeah, I have a theme in this haul. It's either thrillers or Irish books. There's no in between, I feel like. The next book that I bought is another 2024 release that has been quite hyped, and that is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. Lucy Foley has very quickly established herself as a really standard thriller author, and I feel like she's become super popular since her debut. I have read 2 Lucy Foley's before. I've read The Guest List, which I thought was kind of fine. It was pretty mediocre. I didn't love it. I found the characters a bit insufferable. But I also read The Paris Apartment, and I really liked that one, and I think Lucy Foley is one of those authors that gets better with every release. So this being her newest, I am expecting her to be even better of an author, and this is once again like a remote setting thriller, very fun. And yeah, I can't wait to see what this holds in store. I really love the cover, and it also has these like deckled edges, which I haven't seen in a while. But yeah, really, really gorgeous book and I can't wait to read it. I think it'll just be a really fast, really easy to read thriller. And last, but definitely not least, we have Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. This is a YA. I think this was one of the only YAs on this list because I don't tend to buy YA a lot anymore. But I love Maureen Johnson. She wrote the Truly Devious books, which I'm obsessed with. Those are some of my favorite YA books. And this is her newest release. I think it's about a student who wants a summer job, and she was originally house sitting, but she lost that summer job, so she gets a job working in tourism at this manor called Morning House. But I think a lot of people have died there and it's kind of haunted. So I'm really excited for this. I love Maureen Johnson. She's just incredible at crafting like a fun YA mystery with really likable characters, really cool characters, and just really good mysteries. I loved the Truly Devious series. It had me in its chokehold. Like, for real, it had me in a chokehold. I loved that series. I still think of it so fondly, and I still vividly remember so much that happened in Truly Devious, which I couldn't say about a lot of other thrillers. Like, a lot of books are just forgettable, but Truly Devious has stayed in my mind. So I'm really excited to read this. I hope it'll be just as good, but I have complete faith in Maureen Johnson. I think she's done incredible jobs. So this will be so good. And I think those were all the books that I bought over the past few months. This was everything I bought during summer. Yeah, I'm truly excited to read all of these. It'll definitely take me a while to get through them, but let me know what I should prioritize, what I should read first, what I should vlog if you're interested in any of these books. I think I have a very solid mix between new releases, really hyped books, a couple of backlist titles like Gone Girl, and a couple of books that I haven't seen anyone speak about, so that are just like rogue picks that I will make up my mind entirely about these, and I can let you know if they're good or not, and if you should pick them up, or maybe not. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna try and do a couple of reading vlogs in the future and include some of these so that you can see what I think about them. But yeah, those were all of the books. Definitely let me know if there are books that you want me to read as soon as possible, and I will prioritize those. But yeah, I'm gonna get to editing straight away, and then hopefully you can see this vlog as soon as possible. And this time I will actually try and upload regularly, but I won't make any promises. We know how I am. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.